Hello and welcome to the Geek Battle Gaming YouTube channel. Today we're going to be looking at Bubble's Seahorse Adventures, which is a indie game made for the NES, which is also part of the Indie Heroes Collection 3 for the Evercade. So this was the final Evercade Game of the Month for 2023, and it was Bubble Seahorse Adventures that will be part of the games featured in the Indie Heroes Collection 3 package. It's a short but inoffensive platformer. The game sees you play as a seahorse, as the title suggests, but here's a twist: you're not underwater. So, for those expecting an adventure of James Pond proportions, where you're swimming your way around levels to victory, you are in for a surprise. Because it's actually a bit more like James Pond 2, where he's just not in water. But this time you're a seahorse. Yeah! It's a straight-up platformer, and although it can be beaten in just a few minutes, it leaves me with mixed feelings. Whilst it wasn't a long game, some parts of it were frustrating in how many times I needed to replay what seemed like simple areas. It's not that I think a platformer should allow you to breeze through it just from start to finish without any challenge, but I don't like cheap deaths in games which force you to make mistakes just for the sake of lengthening the game. The game is basically just one that one hit kills you most of the time. You can pick up a power-up which looks like an Elvis wig on the seahorse, and then wearing this you get an extra hit point. But more often than not, you won't have this. You defeat enemies by shooting bubbles at bad guys in the game. Mostly it'll take 3 direct hits to eliminate a baddie, and when you do they turn into a bubble which will float up, and you can then jump on this and use it as a platform to reach new areas. This is a big part of getting yourself around the game and collecting items. When you have the Elvis wig, it makes it so you only need 1 bubble to send the enemies into the Shadow Realm. This definitely makes things a bit easier, but you won't have this Elvis wig for most of the time. The game has 14 levels, and there is little variety in the look and gameplay style. Like, you end up going to what looks like an outer space level, like a underground level, just like a standard kind of grass and hill level. It's all very typical NES style platforming level design. It's okay, but you know, it's nothing too unexpected either. There are a couple of on-rail sections where you have to dodge things whilst you keep moving, but these are short and won't take you very long to breeze through. The graphics and sound are pleasant enough. The tunes are jolly in the early stages and take a more serious tone later on. And then it goes back to the original jolly tune and just kind of rotates around. The game ends with a final boss fight, and this is the only one in the entire game, which is a little bit of a shame. When you reach it, it's like a weird Cthulhu meets Dr. Zoidberg meets a flying Kiwi monstrosity with a Charlie Chaplin hat on. Yeah, it's actually fairly challenging to beat until you work out its attack pattern. More to the point is that it seems like you don't actually have to shoot it to defeat it. Instead, all you do is shoot the enemies below, the little creatures, and they turn into bubbles which float up, and then these bubbles will hurt the giant Cthulhu Kiwi thing. Like a lot of the Indie Heroes games, there's not a lot of rhyme or reason for some of the elements to all go together in the game. You pick up stars and smiley faces, and I'm not really sure why. It doesn't seem that any of the items you pick up in the game actually change your progress or score or anything. I'm not sure why you do anything other than get to the end. I'm not even sure if there's particularly a storyline. But anyway, it's an NES game, so you don't really need one. As a standalone game, it's okay, but short and fairly forgettable. When it will be part of the Evercade's Indie Heroes Collection 3 cartridge, this will be a nice little game to run through on a journey or between bigger games. It's not going to be something you'd probably want to buy the whole cartridge based on, because there are definitely better games as part of Indie Heroes Collection 3. And if you have the opportunity to get this just for the NES, because I'm sure it's probably available out there somewhere, then it might be a nice little thing to have for your collection, but it truly is something that you can run through in just a few minutes, so be warned. So that's going to wrap things up for this video. I would appreciate if you would smash that subscribe button here on the Geek Battle Gaming YouTube channel, leave a comment, give a thumbs up and all that kind of stuff. Let me know what kind of things you would like to see me cover on the channel, and I do my best to answer all of the comments along the way. So, if you want to read the written review version of this article, head over to www.xstreamed.tv/gaming. And other than that, until next time, stay safe, always stay extremed, and ciao for now. Boom, and I'm off the air.